In this presentation, I will be discussing an understanding of EDI. So what is EDI and the history of EDI? Who is EDI for and what challenges does EDI solve? And I will be giving 5 tips on the use of EDI and considering an EDI solution, which includes well-defined objectives, documented vendor guidelines, and visibility and commitment to constant evaluation of your processes. EDI software that allows for computer-to-computer exchange of electronic business documents between trading partners. The history. Army Master Sergeant L. At Gilbert had a problem. The year was 1948 and he had half of Berlin to feed. The logistics surrounding the famous Berlin airlift were enormous, and over the next 12 months, Gilbert and the rest of the U.S. Army logistics team would drop 2.5 million tons of goods into Western Berlin. And it was thanks in part to the structured shipping manifest that Gilbert developed. It would take Gilbert another 20 years to turn this paper-based approach to standardize business documents into the electronic messages that would later on develop into EDI. Although it took until the early 1990s for EDI to find widespread adoption, EDI was a critical facilitator of early globalization. And rather than relying on slow postal services, EDI enabled instant long-distance communications in an era before the internet. EDI also has the capability to integrate with different types of systems like accounting, enterprise resource planning systems, solutions, and retailer and vendor system once it is set up and ready to go. EDI is a technology that dates back to the late 1960s, which says a lot about its effectiveness and efficiency. If it didn't work, it would have been replaced with more modern technology a long time ago. But it does work, and it's an industry standard, all electronic, and got a proven track record. EDI has been used in the past primarily by automotive and retail businesses. However, the format has been more widely adopted. Manufacturing, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, utilities, and construction companies are all good examples of other EDI users. They are companies that are well known and easily recognized by nearly all Canadian and American consumers. We're talking about stores like Target, Walmart, Home Depot, and Nordstrom, just to name a few. Getting your products into these stores of this magnitude can grow your business by leaps and bounds, and EDI is what you need to do so. It is designed to streamline your data, connections to retailers, and it makes your product visible to much larger audiences. So what types of documents are we talking about? There are literally thousands of standard business transactions documents that can be sent automatically using EDI. Some of the most common examples include purchase orders, invoices, shipping statuses, and custom information, and inventory documents and payment confirmations. In general, there are 2 big types of EDI transmissions: point-to-point or direct connections. 2 computers or systems connect with no intermediary over the internet, generally with a secure protocols. Value-added networks, short for VAN, V-A-N, a third-party network manages data transmissions generally with a mailbox paradigm. So what is a VAN? A supplier that starts doing business with a retailer, as an example, in this case a direct point-to-point connection, which might be used to deliver EDI messages from point A to point B, the retailer, supplier and retailer. and vice versa. When a supplier does businesses with multiple retailers, EDI via WAN enables a supplier to communicate with all retailers as if they were one. This eliminates the need to establish a direct connection to each of them. With the rise of new EDI standards and communications protocols, WANs have evolved to support many different requirements. To elaborate, WAN capabilities have expanded to include EDI translations, data validations, reprocessing, authentication, and encryption and reporting. WAN also includes a wide range of other services that aim to simplify document exchange with many partners via EDI networks. So what's the difference between a solution and a WAN? So supports multiple communication protocol, any-to-any translations into standard and proprietary formats, trading partner onboarding and management, full integration with an ERP or accounting systems, affordable, predictable pricing options, leading edge security and document authentication and encryption, trading partner and electronic document archiving. Working directly with an EDI WAN provider can deliver additional benefits that boost business outcomes, includes back office integration and trading partner enablement. So, common challenges with EDI. Currently doing everything paper, email based, order time. There's more time spent when no EDI solution or a fully integrated WAN EDI solution is not in place. Human errors, meaning the orders that come in via email are keyed in to the system and then an error is made. There's a reduce of costs when using an EDI solution. Increase of accuracy and order fulfillment, again, going back to human errors. Reduce manual entry work to free up individuals for other more important tasks in the business. Order and shipment statuses, real-time updates, and securely exchange data with your trading partners. So common challenges in existing EDI solutions. So complex B2B networks. This means that you need to enable to connect with all these stakeholders and send them data electronically in real time. You'll need to be able to connect to their, we'll have to deal with different EDI formats and of course concerns about security and data and systems. You may also face challenges with some of your partners that lack awareness of the benefits of EDI and therefore they are a concern about data sharing. Volumes of EDI are growing. More trade and more partners will equal with growing volume of data that you generate and information that you need to share with your ecosystems. Errors and missing fields in EDI. Avoiding errors and missing fields in EDI is difficult, especially when you start to deal with bigger volumes. Some older formats EDI weren't meant for humans to read and understand them. Therefore, catching and fixing errors can be challenging, even when it's possible to read the information. Manual errors detection is time-consuming and expensive, and can still result in errors. Automating errors detection can significantly increase productivity and increase gross margins. So the rising cost of EDI. Owning the software and hardware for EDI transaction requires substantial financial resources. Also, in-house maintenance is necessary, so you have a dedicated EDI team with knowledge on EDI. The growing volume of data, flaws in data quality also results in additional costs. To reduce the costs, you may want to look into an alternative solution for handling your EDI transactions. For example, outsourcing it to a vendor that can run the transactions in the cloud will significantly lower your costs. Real-time transactions with transparency. The speed of receiving information is critical for transparency. It can influence your productivity, efficiency of processes, and cost and customer satisfaction. Improving communications and transparency with your partners will help everyone in the value chain to optimize operations and support one another better. Next, security concerns. Such concerns are a lack of trust, the risk of information being exploited due to breaches and security, as well as there are potential legal problems due to organizational or governmental regulations. So a full EDI solution, full features that exist within a comprehensive solution. They offer EDI as one component of a more comprehensive service portfolio. For example, service dealings with trading partners, maintaining industry standards. In addition to EDI, a full solution offers a comprehensive digital business solution such as customer experience, management in the cloud, and no need to switch between two systems. So 5 tips if you're considering EDI or changing your current EDI processes. First, well-defined company objectives that improve supply chain and collaboration with all your partners, big or small. Well-documented vendor guidelines in accordance with EDI standards. This is on the partner to provide them. Project management that delivers visibility and commitment. So very important that you work with someone who can fully manage the full project and not just establish connections. The next one is continued evaluation of your processes through audits and recommendations so that you can improve your EDI initiatives and meet your business challenges. And most of all is move users away from manual order entry. And so now I'm going to go and jump into the demo for EDI. So our EDI solution is completely cloud-based. There is no software to install on your end, and it's fully integrated to Spire. So this is the interface, the login screen. I'm going to go and log into the system, walk through each module and explaining what each module does. And then I'm going to demonstrate processing some orders. So the first setup screen is the company. That's your company. This is where we need to define how we're going to access your Spire using the Spire API. And then the next screen is setting up partners. And in this case, a company that may deal with Lobless is to set them up as a partner and then defining what types of documents are in use by this partner. In this case, this partner selected to send PO acknowledgements. That is the when a purchase order is received, that is to acknowledge it and define whether it will be fulfilled all in one or whether there will be some back orders and so forth. The next one is the ASN. That stands for Advance Shipping Notice, and also define whether the partner requires expiration dates and lot numbers. And the other one is the invoice that the partner requires. And there are other variables that each partner requires, and so there are several more other settings to consider. The next is the tax code mappings, and this is mainly because EDI, as I spoke to before, is the vendor documentation. This EDI has its own tax codes, and so they need to be mapped with the tax codes in Spire, and because every Spire database has tax codes set up differently or in different order, and so they need to be mapped on this screen. The next screen is the mapping of inventory items. So the most common need for this is when a partner defines their own part numbers and your database, Spire database, has a different part number. So then they need to be mapped, And so this is a one-time setup and forget to map the part numbers. So the next, and this screen as well, is mapping the unit of measure. A partner may have define a different unit of measure, and in your Spire database, it may be defined as each. A partner could be defining it as a box, so it's just to map the two. Then next is the customer mapping. So this serves two purposes. One is to map customer number to a partner in this screen. And second is you can also define the ship to ID. So a partner may have stores all over Canada, Costco as an example, and they may have their locations defined in their EDI documentations as a certain number. And in your case, you need to map that to your ship to ID and Spire. So that's done at the customer mapping level. The next one is the invoicing module. So there are still companies out there that will have, for example, franchises, and these franchises will directly place the orders with a supplier, yourself in this case, or whoever's using EDI. And then the partner will require that the invoice still be sent to headquarters with using EDI. And so that's where the invoicing module comes in. This is for partners that only send invoices via EDI. And so that's where this module comes in. Invoicing archive, that is once an order is complete and you archive it, then it will show up under the archives. The next module is the mailbag. So that is the main screen where a user will spend time and interact with on a day-to-day basis. And so here is where all the new orders will come in, the purchase orders from your supplier. Again, could be Costco, Canadian Tire, and others. And this is where the user will see all of the orders appearing and will also get alerted via email to when new orders come in. And so now I'm going to post an order or process an order and follow all the steps in EDI in order to complete this order. And so the first step is to post this order to Spire. Again, here to avoid manual data entry. So I'm going to click on Go here. And I get the message that the order has been posted to Spire successfully. And so I'm going to take that order number now. And I'm going to go to Spire. And I'm going to go and search for this order. And so here's the order. So I'm going to double click it. So here I have the order now that came in via EDI. So the first step is to acknowledge this order. And I'm going to do that here in the EDI cloud interface. So create PO acknowledgement, click on Go. And here I have the option to define whether I'm accepting this order or I am back ordering it. So I'm going to define the delivery date at each individual level, row on the order. I can define the delivery date. And then I can also define whether I'm going to be accepting this item or I'm going to go and back order this item. So that is important if the vendor requires that you define whether you will have some of these on back order or be able to ship all of them. So I'm going to click on Create PO Number, PO Acknowledgement. And so that step is now done. So now I would either go to Spire to commit the inventory or to already know that I can't commit the order, the inventory, and then I'm going to go and create an ASN. Before I briefly talked about an ASN, that's an Advanced Shipping Notice. That's what that stands for. And what you're doing here is you are sending the vendor, the partner, an order, an Advanced Shipping Notice to say when they can expect it at their warehouse. And so I'm going to say ship date. I'm going to go and say the delivery date and the tracking number. I'm going to define who I'm sending this with. So in this case, I'm going to select FedEx Ground. And I'm going to say what packaging type. So in this case, I'm going to say carton, but I can select pallet, whatever the packaging type might be. And then here at the bottom, I can define the shipping, how many quantity I'm shipping. And so I'm going to ship it all in one. And so I'm going to say the expiration dates. And here I'm going to select the quantity. Save. And on the next one, I'm going to do the lot number again. Again, I'm going to say when it expires. And quantity 10. And I'm going to do the next one as well, quantity 20. And save that as well. And then I'm going to click on Save Details. And now I have to define what the weight is of the package. I say 12 kilograms. And I've now created the advanced shipping notice. And now I'm going to go and click on Send Notice. And so what I've now sent to the partner is to say what's all inside that package. And so I'm going to click on Send as ASN. And these are the labels that you have to then attach to the printer. Here is a number in the bottom of the package. When the partner is going to scan this package, they will immediately know what's inside that package without even opening it up. So now the next step is to invoice this order in Spire to fulfill and invoice it. So I'm going to go and invoice this order. Approve. And I'm going to just select cash in this case. Invoice. And so now that I have invoiced this order in Spire, I can come back to EDI4 Spire, come to my mailbag, and I can now go and take this order and invoice it, send the invoice to the partner. So I'm going to click Create Invoice and go. And so I get the message that the invoice has been sent to the partner. And then the last step is to archive this order because I am now done. Under my action status, I posted this to Spire. I sent the PO acknowledgement. I sent the advanced shipping notice. I invoiced this order. And so now my next step is to archive this order. And now I have my order archived here in the mailbag. And so that is the last step in the EDI process.